Bismillah. Welcome back, Zoo Crew. The most valuable thing that you have in your life, it's not your network and it's not your net worth. It's your time. Time truly is the most valuable currency in the world. And even if you think about in business, what are business owners doing? They're buying time, right? So if you're an employee, you're selling your time. And honestly, that's a losing strategy because you only have so many hours in a day. So even if you are highly skilled, highly specialized, highly educated, there's still a limit to how much you will be able to earn per hour, right? This is why building systems is important. And this is really why cash flow is more important than your net worth, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank if you don't have a way to continually generate more income, right? And really, like, the whole name of the game is learning to condense time, right? So when I'm saying condense time, this means learning from other people. So whether that's books, podcasts, or even YouTube videos, right? People are like so unaware of the level of education you can get from YouTube. There's literal professors who teach in university who upload their lectures to YouTube for free, right? So some of the professors I like, well, there's one guy right now, predictive history, Professor Jiang something. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this dude literally predicted what's happening in Iran like a year ago, and this is why his channel's blowing up now. Then you got somebody like Dr. Roy Casagrande, another great professor of like sociology, talks about world history and these kind of things. And I've said it so many times before, if you want to understand present day and the future, you need to study history because all the answers are in the history, right? Outside of this, like even when it comes to sales, like you have people like Alex Hermosi, literally probably the best sales training you'll get for free. And like the value or like the insights this guy offers on his YouTube channel for free, it's better than most paid sales training, right? And then somebody else for sales training like Jeremy Miner, like phenomenal top tier salesperson who brings like a whole different approach to sales, right? So point being, like, you can condense time by learning from these people, right? So let's say for somebody like Alex Hermosi, if it took him like 10 years to learn everything he knows about business and now he's teaching that to you for free, well, guess what? You just condensed your own timeline. So instead of now you spending 10 years to learn the same thing, you can learn it in a month or two, right? And this is where like learning how to use AI again helps you condense time, right? So ultimately, you want to be in a position where you can buy time. And if you don't know how to buy time, you need to learn sales, marketing, and systems. And really, I guess you need to learn entrepreneurship because everyone's goal should be to buy time. And like, I guess even Dan Martell talks about this. Like, he has a whole book called Buy Back Your Time, right? And people are becoming more aware of this whole idea of buying time, whether that's like not going to the grocery store and ordering your groceries on Uber or getting a meal service, right? So you're not spending like an hour doing groceries, then like another 30 minutes to prep your food or an hour to prep your food, then like another 30 minutes to cook the food, and then another 30 minutes to clean the like dishes and whatnot, right? So time, once you've spent it, you can't get it back. So you need to be very, very cognizant of how you're spending your time, right? This is why doing a time study is very important. So really you should set up your like day in 25-minute blocks, right? And every 25 minutes you have an alarm that goes off and then you write down what you did for the last 25 minutes. And if you want, like, you could do something called the Pomodoro technique, right? So you work for 25 minutes, then you take a 5-minute break. Then you work for 25 minutes and you take a 5-minute break. Next thing you know, you've done like 3 hours worth of work and you don't feel burnt out, right? So you got to be very, very cognizant of how you're spending your time and staying focused and disciplined, because as soon as you let other people become a priority in your life, you're going to notice that like you're wasting your own time and catering to other people's needs, especially like if you fall into the category of giver, right? There's two types of people in the world. There's takers and givers, and most people think entrepreneurs are takers. The reality is most entrepreneurs are actually givers, right? They're giving away value. They're giving away resources. They're giving away opportunities, right? Sure, there is probably like 20% of entrepreneurs who are just like thoroughbred takers, but these people don't get far in the long run, right? Because they'll screw over multiple people to make a quick buck, and then that shit eventually catches up to them, right? And the sad reality is, I would say probably with the way the world is now, 80% of people are takers. They just take without any kind of reciprocal effort, right? Or reciprocity. And now that I'm saying this, I'm realizing this is a very tough word to say. But you get the point, right? And so if you're a giver, like you will get burnt out dealing with takers all the time. And if it's in your nature to just be very generous and just always give and give and give, it might be that you have some people pleasing tendencies. So it might be some kind of childhood trauma that you've never really dealt with, or like, yeah, really dealt with. Or maybe you're just unaware of this, right? This is why it's important to do a time study, because then you'll see how much of your day is being spent on your priorities versus like other people's priorities, how much of your day is getting spent on dealing with your own needs versus like other people's needs, right? And this happens to me a lot where like somebody will ask me for help and I'll drop whatever I'm doing and now make sure I'm helping them without any regard for what I need to get done, right? And I don't regret any of that because that's just how I am, right? It's just now I'm at a point where I have to be way more cognizant and like aware of how I'm spending my time, who I'm giving access to, who I'm helping, because a lot of people, they'll ask you for advice, then they won't listen to your advice. Or a lot of people will ask for help, but they don't actually want help, right? They just want somebody to like comfort them and allow them to like be mediocre. And if you hold yourself accountable and you hold yourself to high standards, it's gonna bother people who don't live the same way or don't have the same mindset, right? So subconsciously, like maybe they do this intentionally, maybe it's unintentional, but like at the end of the day, they're gonna do whatever they can in their power to guilt trip you, destabilize you, or just make you fall into a place of comfort or be mediocre, right? And like we talked about this before, people don't want to see people they know grow because it makes them have to reflect on themselves and then their lack of growth, right? So, all in all, I guess the main point of today is be aware of your time, and you can, like, let's say you spend $100, like you can always get the $100 back. Once you spend an hour of your time, that's gone, right? So don't waste hours, months, years with the wrong people or people who are just taking advantage of you or wasting your time, right? And this is relevant to careers, this is relevant to friendships, this is relevant to relationships, right? And it, again, it ties into what we were talking about yesterday. If you get on the wrong train, get off at the first exit, because the round trip is going to end up costing you a lot more, right? Anyways, I'm sure this is going to offend some people because look, like at the end of the day, like you can just look at social media. This is like the greatest example, right? It costs people nothing to support their friends, whether that's reposting their story, liking somebody's post, dropping them a comment, right? Like this literally costs you nothing. So if you can't help your friends in like when it costs nothing, you're not going to help them when it does cost you something, right? And most people will pretend that they support you, but in the reality is they don't. Like actions speak louder than words, right? Most people, like when somebody, let's say your friend opens a business, most people are going to come and be like, oh, I need a discount. And these are the takers. Whereas the givers, they're going to be like, oh, my buddy wrote a book, let me buy 10 copies. Oh, my buddy opened a business, let me pay double, right? So be a giver. If you are a giver, be wary of the takers. If you are a taker, reflect, try and become a giver. I know it's not a very easy thing to do and you might not be capable of change. So the least you can do is be aware, have some self-awareness, and try not to be a bad person. Try not to take advantage of people. All right, Zoo Crew, peace out.